All right, the mini quizzes. If you handed it back and you got a grade, that's your grade. If you did not get a grade, I'm letting you retake it, okay, because you basically failed it, okay? But I don't want to give you an F, okay? So here's what's going to happen. It was out of 15. So all of you that don't have a grade on it, most likely you got like 7, 6, 5, something way low. That would have been an F, okay? So let's just retake it. But it's not fair to those that already did it that I'm not letting them retake it. So out of 15, if they retake it, what should be their score that they could get if they ace it? Okay, so I hear a 13. What else? A 13 would be like 85%. And I decided to do 12. Okay, that's still a B. Okay, it's better than the F. So if you had 13 or above, you get it. You get to keep it. If you have less, if you don't have any score, it's because you did way less than a 12, and I'm going to let you retake up to a 12. Does that make sense? Okay? So I want to show you it. Okay? The biggest thing is, next week, do you get a calculator? No. So all of you knew how to graph it, and then you basically fudged your work. Okay, where was one of the mins? Where was the min? At 5. I don't know how some of you factored to get 5, because all you basically did was like, it's 5. You didn't show any work. You just used your calculator. Next week, you won't be able to use your calculator, so you won't be able to get the 5 unless you know how to do math. So let's take a look. All of you were fine with the product rule. To there. Okay? Now, half of you didn't even do the product rule. Know what you did? You expanded out. If you expand out, are the derivatives easy? Once you expand all the way out, derivatives are easy. But is it easy to set a really big polynomial equal to 0 and solve? No. So you guys had this really long thing, and then you're like, it needs to equal 0, it's at 5. And I'm like, how'd you know? You have to show your work. So from here, don't expand out. Don't expand out. Do not expand out, but factor. What can I pull out of this? X minus 2 squared. The brackets is what's left over. So if I had 3 of these guys, and I took out 2, I only have 1 of them left. If I took out 2 of these guys, that means I still have the 3x minus 6 still in there. Factor out. Can I then simplify? Just the brackets. That's pretty darn good, but if you want, I would even go one more step. What can you pull out of the bracket now? 4. And that's my first derivative, and that's what I want you to get down to. Now, without a calculator, do I know where the critical points are? 2 and 5. Because you see, in a week, you can't have the calculator. So you have to figure out how to get 5 without looking at a calculator. That's by factoring. Okay? Okay, so now I have 2 and 5, and that stuff's easy. Okay? And what's really nice is doing the sign test on this rocks. What's this part always? So the only thing that can change signs is the x minus 5. So if I'm bigger than 5, I am positive. If I'm less than 5, what is this? Negative, negative, done. A lot easier to do that versus trying to do it here, or if it's expanded out. Or you guys did the expanded out way, and the only way you knew positive or negative was because you looked at the graph. Do you have the graph when you do this? No. So that, guys, where I'm going to do the second derivative. Here we go. I have a u and a v again. Do not expand out. There's my u. There's my v. Derivative. There it is. Okay. Now, do you agree inflection points are kind of harder to find on the graph by just staring at the graph? It's harder to see when it bends one way and bends the other way. It's easy to see it, but is it easy to see exactly where it happens? No. So, how am I going to do this? Cool. Factor out of 4x minus 2. In the brackets, I have leftovers. From those leftovers, simplify. Hey, gosh, dang it, Bach. You are so nice. Can I take out a 3? Oh, wow. That was a nice second derivative. Can you now do the box and all that for him? Okay. So I do all that. Where am I going to do the sign check on? This guy, because it's factored and it's easy to do. Then all of that allows me to graph this. without ever using the calculator. Okay? You can't have a calculator on the test next week. So if I give you a guy, you better know how to take a derivative and simplify. Tomorrow's assignment, because I'm gone for the training, you have a worksheet. Answer key's already online. All of the stuff, when you do a product rule, you better factor. When you do the quotient rule, you better factor and simplify. If you don't simplify, you won't ever be able to solve these problems. You guys okay with that? Okay? So you can retake it anytime through the end of the quarter. So if you want to retake one at lunch, now it's going to be a different equation, okay? But it'll be the same idea of a product rule, and you need to learn how to factor. If you want to do this one at lunch and practice, and I can look over it and say, I think you're ready, then you could do the other one next week sometime. That makes sense? So if you have no grade, it's because I don't want to grade yours. It would have been an F or something. I don't like those. Yeah, Fs. I'd rather get you guys Bs. Now, let's say you bomb it again. Can you retake it? What do you think it's going to be worth now? First time was 15 out of 15. Second was 12 out of 15. What's the third probably? 9 out of 15, which is still a D. If you get 9 out of 15, that's still a D. And if you fail it the third time, it's just going to be an F. That make sense? I'm trying to help you out. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying you got to be ready for this next week, so let's practice now. Cool. Good? Okay. Next thing. I know this is super small. It's on Blackboard. Okay? So this is on Blackboard, so don't stress about it if you can't see it right now. Okay? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, this is your life for the next week. Okay? Okay, today, lecture, homework, like normal. Tomorrow, okay, you're going to have the, tomorrow, so this is today, the Thursday one. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you that big worksheet packet, and it's like 5-6 guys. You get all day tomorrow to work on it. Is the answer key in Blackboard? Yes. So it's kind of like your first review. Okay? Second thing, this is huge. Okay. Instead of doing the AP multiple choice and free response next week, I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to do the multiple choice, and I'm going to do it over the weekend. And it's not going to be summative, it's going to be formative because you're doing it over the weekend. Okay? So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to copy this link, okay? And you can get that link from Blackboard, okay? Try just hitting it. If it's, do you see how I'm trying to hit it and it doesn't seem to go? Could you copy it? And can you go to a new tab? And could I paste it in? You guys okay with that? Okay, here it is. This is what you're going to do. You're going to type in your last name, type in your first name. You're going to answer the 24 questions this time. How long should that take you? An hour. What's 2.5 times 24? An hour. So here's your 24 questions. Note at the bottom, I say this. How far did you get in an hour? This is just for my understanding. So if you got through, let's say, 15 problems, put 15 right there. Can you skip around? Yeah, so you could do 1 through 12, have no idea on 13, 14, 15, but then do 16, 17, 18. Then count how many you did, put it in there. And then one more thing, put in at the very, very, very bottom how long it took you to do the entire worksheet. Is the worksheet unlimited? Yes. If it was an AP test, how long would it most likely be? 1 hour. But this is just practice for you guys. So I want you to take it in an hour, but don't submit it at an hour. Don't submit it, then keep working. But just fill in this box here and tell me how many you got out of the 24 in 1 hour. Does that make sense? Because I want you to pace yourself and go, hey, I did it in an hour. Yes. Or let's say you only got 12 of them. Do you have to like double your speed by May? Okay. This part's not a grade. And neither is how long you took it. The part that's a grade is the 24 questions. I'll allow you a calculator. Okay? Can you work with people? No. Can you take as long as you want? Yes. Will I curve it? Why wouldn't I? Because it's not time. Because you take all weekend if you wanted. Yeah. So since it's not timed, I'm not going to curve it. So you just take as much time as you want. Once you submit, and you're good. Now, question 1. Where's question 1? Do you agree? Question what? Where's question 2? What do you think it is? Blackboard. In the chapter 3 tab. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. If it lets me. Okay. Here's the packet key. This is what you're going to be working on tomorrow. Do you see how there's do all the stuff? Do you see all my boxes? Do you think I used the calculator? No. But that also means I bet I made everything factorable. Okay? So, factorable, look at that. Factorable, look at that. Hey, x minus 4 to the third. Is that kind of like what your mini quiz was? That's factorable. Ooh, oh my goodness, a quotient rule. Inside that quotient rule, I promise the top is factorable. So that's what you're doing tomorrow. Okay? Over the weekend, do you see the multiple choice questions? You can open them, probably print them out if you want, and work. Okay? Now what I would do is don't log into that website yet. Just work and have like a clock next to you and solve all the problems with scratch paper and all that. And then right in an hour, when the hour buzzer goes off, count what you had. Then keep solving and then count how long it took you. And when you're finally done and you're pretty happy with it, go into that website and click in. Morgan, you have a question? Okay. You guys okay with that? Do you have to do it in one sitting? No. Could you do an hour and a half, then hit pause on your timer, and go, whoo, and then come back the next day and work on it a little bit more? That's fine. I don't care. Okay? I do care. Try and do the 1 hour together. Okay? You guys okay with that? Okay? So let's see what else I need to tell you. Back to here. Okay, I know it's small, so I'll zoom in again. So, tonight's homework. Tomorrow you get the sketching graphs worksheet. You get to work on that all weekend and all day tomorrow. Complete the multiple choice. Post it in. Okay? Now, the take-home test. Don't do it, because that would be a lot on your plate this weekend. Do you agree? So instead, at least print it out, because we're going to do that on Monday. Okay? But at least print it out so we can start working on it on Monday. Okay? If you failed the mini quiz on Wednesday, you can retake it anytime next week. Okay? And then next week, we review. We work on the take-home. Tuesday, we go over all of the questions that you possibly have, and test is Wednesday. Okay? So is there any AP test next week? No. So next week, all day, on Monday, I'll let you work on the take-home. And then Tuesday, we'll kind of sum things up. Jade? What's Thursday? Next Thursday? Nothing. Okay? Hannah? Question? Okay? You guys okay with that? This is on Blackboard if you get lost. Okay? And everything that you need is on Blackboard in the Chapter 3 tab. This is the answer key. Might as well print that off if you want. Or you can have your smartphone out tomorrow and use it to work on things. Okay? The take-home test, what are you going to do with it? Just print it out. You're going to do it? No. Okay? And then here's the multiple choice thing. And where do I go to fill those in? What do I do? The link. And that link is in the October 11th document. Okay? If it doesn't work like this, and it looks like this time it will work, cool, it works. But if it doesn't work, what can you do? Yep, copy and paste it in. Guys okay with that? Okay, cool. Okay, with that said, let's